Hello, everybody. This is VanArendonk Baugh bringing you the video edition of the October 2023 newsletter. And if you're looking at this going, hey, Laura, the October 2023 newsletter came out earlier this week, and you're only speaking on video today, which is like, what, 5 days later? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm really behind on absolutely everything. In my very slight defense, I was traveling, I was gone. You may have seen I was in Japan. I got home from Japan very, very early Wednesday morning. On Thursday, I had a webinar. Friday and Saturday, I taught a 2-day workshop. I am just now trying to catch up, and I am behind on absolutely everything. Everything. Like the only thing I'm not behind on is brushing my teeth. So there we go. I don't know. Too much information. Regardless, I have good breath, and we're here today for the newsletter. So, but actually, this is a good thing because it gives me a chance to respond a little bit to how the print newsletter edition is going, and so I can give you a little bit more, I guess, today in the video edition. So yeah, work with me. Here we go. So I'm going to start today with the most critical, time urgent thing, which is, yay, it's that time again to talk about holiday cards. Woo! So if you've been with me a while, you know that every year I like to send totally free Christmas cards to anybody who asks, and no obligation, no, whatever. But some people really like receiving them, and I like sending them. So for years, I've just had a sign up form. You could put in your name and address. I would manually sign, wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and send you a card. And that's been great. It's been super fun for me. I've heard from a lot of people that they really enjoy it for a variety of reasons. And so anyway, that's been a thing. Last year, the number of people requesting cards quadrupled in a single year, like leapt. Guys, I'm not mad. That was great. I had so much fun. I sent cards to, I don't even remember how many countries. It was super fun. But it was like several $100s in postage and printing and things. And I realized, like, I don't want to cut back on this at all, but I kind of need to, put some guardrails on where this could go. So I thought about how I could keep doing this, but not turn it into a black hole for me financially, and also, what could I do to kind of spice it up and make it fun? So what I came up with was to offer a tiered system. So you can sign up to get a free card, absolutely same as always. There we go. Or you could sign up to get a card and an ebook that would drop in December, and then I was valuing that ebook at $0. You would pay money for the ebook, but it would actually go to pay for cards to send. So you would get your card and send a card to 3 other people. This is all broken down in my blog post, which I won't link here. And then we had another tier that would receive a special edition handmade card, custom done just for us, by a group of special needs young adults who sell cards to fund their educational activities, and a custom done ornament just for us, and then also would pay for cards. So I had no idea where this would go. Like, maybe 2 people would sign up for an ebook. Everybody else would sign up for free cards. I didn't know. I just figured I'd put it up there and see what happened. You guys are freaking amazing because at this point, more people have signed up for paid tiers than for the free cards. And I've actually had several people contact me saying, hey, I just want to donate extra money to pay for cards. Because we've had stories of people that, that was their only card they received, or for whatever reason, the card was important. And so they wanted to make sure that, that people got cards. So first of all, oh my gosh, you people are amazing. Thank you. Okay. So let me get that up front there. You guys blew me away. I had no idea that anybody would take the paid tiers just to fund cards. So thank you so much. Let me say too, any money that is over card expenses will go to a food pantry charity, and I will post on that. So I am making 0 profit off anything to do with Christmas cards. Holiday wishes are free. Okay. So I will update on that, as we go, and let you know where that is. But the thing I wanted to say, I guess, response additionally on the video newsletter, the free card tier I said more people have signed up for paid tiers than free. The free card tier is much, much lower than historically. And when I say much lower, I mean like an order of magnitude lower. So I'm a little concerned that perhaps I sent the message that the cards were a pain and a financial liability, and maybe people felt guilty about signing up for it. Guys, that was not the intended take-home message. Okay. I am happy to send cards. I would not have worked to do a new tier if that were not the case. So please, if you want a card, and don't feel any guilt at all whatsoever about signing up for a free card. Okay, the paid tiers are entirely voluntary, and there's zero guilt and zero pressure attached. Okay. Any cards that do not get paid for out of the paid tiers, I will fund as normal. Zero guilt for signing up for free cards. Those of you who have signed up for paid tiers or even just said, hey, how can I donate to fund more free cards for other people? You are freaking amazing and I love you. Okay, so I hope that covers everything to do with the cards. The links for the signups and the ebooks and all of that will be below, so check those out. But thank you. Okay, all right. Next up, I mentioned in the newsletter about while I was in Japan, I learned about the ghost passengers in the taxis. Ooh, so I just, it's October. I'm obligated to include a ghost story. So here we go. This one was actually pretty interesting to first hear about and then do a little research on. Fukushima, the area where there was the excuse me, giant earthquake, the Tohoku earthquake in about a decade ago. And sorry, I'm trying to organize. I didn't rehearse this. Can you tell? And it was a truly massive earthquake. I believe, I actually put the statistics in the newsletter, but I believe that it's the fourth strongest earthquake recorded in human history since we've been measuring earthquakes. So it was really massive, phenomenal damage from the earthquake and the tsunami and all that, and a really tragic loss of life. Lots of people, entire villages were gone. Actually last year, 2022, when I was in Japan, and I boarded the wrong train, which is actually quite hard to do. And I'm usually pretty good at navigating, but I just I got excited. In Japan, a lot of times the Shinkansen will come, within 5 minutes of each other. So you board, and then 5 minutes later, the next train comes in, and you board, and it goes. Guys, amazing precision. Like, if train is considered late, the Shinkansen is considered late if it's 15 seconds off schedule. Okay. Anyway, and with me, my typical American sense of public transit time, I assumed that since it was not, within 15 seconds, it must have been my train, and it wasn't. So I got on one train early, and then I had to switch. Ended up talking to a gentleman next to me, and he had a little bit of English and a decent amount of English. And between his English and my Japanese, we had a really good conversation. And he was showing me photos of his village and just absolutely the devastation. It was flattened, it was gone, and he lost his best friend, and it was amazing. Just incredible damage to look at and see. That's, a really personal take on stuff that had only previously been a news story. So anyway, in that area, taxi drivers have been reporting passengers getting into the taxi, and these people would be wearing out of season winter clothing, or perhaps their clothing would be wet, so that, even though it's a summer passenger, they're dressed as if it's for winter, or they're soaking wet, and they would ask for an address, and the taxi driver would say nothing's there anymore, and depending on the story, someone would get kind of confused and say, am I dead? Or they would just vanish, or they would get to the location and turn around and nobody's there. It's exactly like all the vanishing hitchhiker urban legends that you've heard before. But what's interesting about this is it was happening often enough that a university actually did a sociological study on it to get, to start collecting these stories. And the thing that makes me, not just another urban legend, right? Because generally I'm pretty much a skeptic about most ghost stories. Sorry, they're really fun, but also but Japanese taxis start the meter running as soon as a person enters the as soon as a person enters the vehicle, and the taxi driver is responsible for the fare. So these passengers who vanished partway through the ride, the taxi driver has to pay for that fare, which to me seems like a rather expensive prank to sustain. Like, how many times are you going to do this when it costs you money each time? So anyway, the sociology students were interviewing these taxi drivers on this phenomenon. Allegedly, some drivers will not service some areas anymore because they're just, concerned about picking up ghosts. But regardless, whether you believe the stories or not, I can tell you what we do know for sure is capitalism has reliably stepped up to fill this gap, because while some drivers will not service certain areas anymore, you can also now hire a haunted taxi tour to travel around and try to pick up a ghost yourself. Okay. What else is going on this month that I need to talk about? Oh, I mentioned in the newsletter some recommended seasonal reads. So if you want something a little eerie or a little spooky, I don't know if I have a copy of Son of a Witch here, but these are all things to look at. Some people have picked those up. Thank you very much. But yeah, some fun seasonal reads. Oh, Robin Archer stories. Robin Archer, definitely Halloween. So yeah. And there's an excerpt in the email newsletter, a snippet from Poet's Eye in progress. I'm not going to read it here because, one, it's a little bit long, and two, I'm recording this right before I'm supposed to do a webinar, so I am on a time limit. So thanks for rolling with that. Please do just hop over and check the email newsletter to get that snippet. It's about Kevin. Kevin. Oh my gosh, Kevin. His name is Kevin. I suppose we could call him Kevin. That's fine. Anyway, Kevin and Uvela sneaking into a temple to do a little robbery. So yeah, and then that's it. I think that's all the news. Yeah. So please, feel free to drop some comments or to email me if you have questions, or if you want to give me feedback on, I've heard people say different things about, video newsletter versus email newsletter, whatever. The email newsletter is not going away by any means. But there's things I can do in the email newsletter, like more direct, book links and things like that are a little bit easier. And there's things I can do here in the video newsletter that might be, I don't know, maybe a little more personal. I can tell you that I'm behind on everything. I guess I could have said that in the email newsletter. I can tell you that, last night I got murdered by some chili that the waiter assured me was not spicy. That was a lie. I was sweating. I was crying. I wanted to take off my sweatshirt. I was so high I was doing it. They found some pepper X, the new pepper, and put it in the chili. Anyway, all of that to say is the new email newsletter and the video newsletter are probably going to continue to be a little bit different. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here. Let me know if you have any questions. Please do sign up for your Christmas cards at whatever tier makes you happy. I would love to send some holiday greetings your way. And that's it. Everybody take care. I'll see you next month.